First one.
Shalom Rabbi Sai. We're holding in Chulin Daf Kuf Yud Ches 118a. Starting the first wide line in the Amud. We're holding over here with the Nikuda that we ended yesterday's Daf. We have a Shomer and we have a Yad. Shomer is a guard, which is a protection of an item, and it joins the item to be one big thing. And you have a Yad, which is a literal translation, a handle. The handle is an extension of the item, but doesn't become part of the item.
It could be Yad, and it the Shomer as well.
What?
Could be Yad, which is the Shomer as well.
Yes, so then it will be called a Shomer.
To call Shomer?
Yeah, Shomer includes Yad, as we'll see in a moment. The Gemara now quotes the Mishnah in Meseches Uksin, Perk Aleph, Mishnah Aleph. This is the first Mishnah, Meseches Uksin. Not also Kol Shu Yad V'Lo Shomer. Something which is a Yad, but it's not a Shomer. So the din is Tomeh Umetame. If it receives Tuma, Tomeh means receives Tuma and transfers it to the food. Umetame, the food is Tomeh, that transfers the Tuma from the food outside. So Tomeh is it receives Tuma, Metame it brings out Tuma. It doesn't join the food to be part of it. That's a Yad. Shomer, Yad. Maybe that goes back to your point. It doesn't have to be a Yad the Shomer. It's a guard, but it's not a handle. You don't hold the food with it. It does receive Tuma, it does give out Tuma. And it joins the fruit to be part of it. That's the difference between a Shomer and a Yad.
The only difference is
Mitzaref. Oh. Lo yad v'lo shomer. If something is not a yad and not a shomer, Rashi brings an example. It's a hair. It's a hair. That's what Rashi says. In the side over here in the gilyon.
the hair on your head.
No, on the body, on the meat. On the meat.
It would be a Yad or a Shomer.
Meat. And the gilyon over here brings. We talk about also small bone. A small bone. That small bone is not really a yad. You can't hold the meat with it. If you hold it, the meat will fall off. It's not guarding the meat, but it's connected to the meat. But it's not a yad, not a shomer.
It's opposed to a steak bone.
Yes. The din is, so lo yad lo shomer, lo tomeh v'lo mitame. It doesn't receive tuma, it doesn't transfer tuma. It doesn't do anything. Okay, so that's the exclusion. That's the Mishnah in Maseches Uksin, Perikal Mishnah. So to Gemara, Yodos hechektivi. Where do we find Yodos? Says the Gemara, Dechti yutan maim al zera v'nafol v'nivlosom olav tomeh hulochem. So it says when water goes on a zera, which is a seed, it's tomeh lochem. What is lochem? Lachem lechol shebet tzorchechem. That's a drasha. What does lachem shebet tzorchechem means? Any usage that you need for it. As Rashi brings, Rashi says, "L'chol shel tzorchechem, l'chol davar shu tzorech lachem boichel hazeh kol tameh, harei lecha shayad mevia tum loichel dayad gabe avos tum ktiv." Yad is when you need the food. I need it because I'm holding the food with a yad. It's a handle, steak bone. I'm holding it with it, so it's a way to hold it. So I need it to hold it. So that's what it says. That is lachem l'chol shel tzorchechem. The rabbis say others. So that is one drush. You learn it from Zera Zeru. V'chtiv, another pasuk. Chiyamos min habeimo asher lochem lechol shebetzorchechem. When the animal dies, nevelo also says the word lochem. Also dash the same thing. Lechol shebetzorchechem. The rabbis say yad. So I have two yados over here. Yad lachnis uloitzi. So why I have two yados? One by Zera, one by Nevela. One to tell me the two more.
What's the Yad by Zera?
It says Lachem v'shechol v'tzorchechem. Same Joshua. The word Lochem tells you anything included in the food. Zera is a seed that gets tuma. Tuma soichlim. The Yad is if you have, for example, a peel. We said yesterday. Peel, the chito. The Gemara said yesterday. What is the that was spoken shomer? But it will be the same thing with the Yad. I have the wheat, the stock of the wheat. It's the yad of the wheat. So then is that's yad. Shomer la'achrus loitzi loitzorko. What about shomer? I don't need a pasuk for shomer. Why? Kal v'chomer, miyad asu. Ma yad sheinu migino machnesu mitzio. Yad is not a protection. Still, it brings tumah, takes that tumah. Shomer lekol sheken. So shomer, of course. Shomer the kos lachmon alamali. So why does it say shomer? We said before about kol zera zarua. Remember the Josh of yesterday's daf. Zera zarua. From there you learn kederch shel bnei adam motzim lizriya. You take the wheat together, take the wheat kernel together with spiel. So you take it with the cover, and from there you learn shomer. Why do you need shomer? Kavachomer. I don't need shomer. Shmami no letzaref. Oh, so I have a pasuk for yad. I have another pasuk for yad. That tells me that it brings tumah and takes out tumah. And then I have a pasuk by shomer to tell you what? It joins together to be the same, to be starved to the size.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing by yad? So who said, Emo yad lahachnis v'loy loitzi. Maybe the yad is only to coming tumah, not to bring out tumah. Shomer lahachnis v'loitzi. And by shomer you add also that goes in and out. Avayad loitzi v'shomer l'tzaref loy. Maybe yad loitzi v'tzaref is not going to be. What do you mean? I have two psukim by yad. Why in the second pasuk? So Rashi right away addresses that. Says the second pasuk will be regarding nevela. Maybe you can't learn from nevela. Why not? So he says the shai nevela tumah chamuri. I can't learn from nevela because nevela is tumah chamur. The Gemara.
Why do you use muscle then?
Oh, so the Gemara is going to ask that. So Rashi is really addressing what the Gemara is going to say later. So right now the Gemara is not addressing it. The Gemara is building it up. But we're saying right now, who said that both yados teach me something? Maybe only one. And by Shomer adds another level of tumah. But who says mitzvah? Says the Gemara, Yad la'achris lo yoitzi lo matzizom. It can't be the Yad only brings tumah in, but doesn't take out tumah. Why? If it brings tumah into something which is not tameh, of course it brings out tumah. If something is already tameh, just to extend it out, it's easier than bringing new tumah in. Okay. So ve'imo, so that I don't need a pasuk. So once I know the tumah goes in, of course tumah goes out. So that's why yad I don't need a pasuk. Shomer I have a kavachomer for both. So what I need a pasuk for shomer to tell me let's start. Says the Gemara, ve'ima yad lo itzi v'lo la'achnis. Maybe the opposite. Maybe the yad is only to take out tumah, not to bring in tumah. Because like you said, bringing out is easier. Shomer lo itzi la'achnis. Shomer goes in and out. So I don't have a pasuk for the rest. Says the Gemara, Yad Yeseg. So there's an extra Yad. There's a third Yad. It says Tanur b'kirayim yutat lachem. Again, it says the word lachem. By an oven, by the tumah of an oven. Lechoshet tzorichem. Again, you add anything that you need for it, meaning the handle as well. So Rabbi says yodos. So I have another pasuk for yodos. Says the Gemara, Hai minayu miyater, meaning which one is extra? And that's what the Gemara is going to explain. So I have three yodos. So he said one of them is not necessary. So in the beginning, Gemara said I have two. Oh, let's open two. Gemara said no, I need one of them. We'll see now why. But one of them I don't need. So which one now is extra to teach me? We have three yodos. I need, as we'll see, yodos by some of them. But not by all of them, not by all three. Which one is it that is extra to teach me yad le hachnis? Says the Gemara, so one beginning says maybe all both of them, or maybe I need only one. Right by Zroim, and we'll learn from Zroim. Ma Zroim shiket tumah so merubo. Zroim is not a good example because it's very easy to give tumah to Zroim. Tumah to Zroim comes, they get tumah from Vlada tumah. Tanur and Nevelo doesn't get tumah without tumah. Maybe you learn from oven. A tanur gets tumah from the airspace. Other ones don't. Maybe you learn from Nevelo. And Nevelo causes the auto to be tumah. Causes the mass to be tumah. Mashiach in an oven and a zeronat. In addition, the nevela tumah goes on its own. Nothing else touches it. So each one of them is necessary. I can't just not say all of them. I can't just say one. So okay, Chadim and Chadalas, I can learn from one. But Tasi Chadim and Titus, right? Two of them. Hi, Tasi. Which one? One of Israelim, and Tasi Mehanach. Don't write by Israelim and learn from the others. Zroim doesn't get tumo unless it's kosher kala tumo. What is mikala tumo? You have to have water that touches it. Oh, so Sarah is different. If I don't have water, it's not mikala tumo. Masha'inkin by kuyutches. Masha'inkin by oven and by nevel. You don't need water to make it kosher kala tumo. Says the Gemara. So Torah Mizoy Shem Time Be'ech Shekan learn from there. That's not a question. Not a question. If it wasn't mukshar, the Torah told you that in order for a zera, a seed, to receive tumo, it needs to be with water. As long as it doesn't have water, it's not finished. It's like an oven. What happens if you have an oven? We didn't finish the oven. The oven is not fully formed. It doesn't get tumo. So you say, oh, this needs a hechsher, this doesn't need a hechsher. Hechsher by Zroim is the finished product, like by oven. Ela porichoch. Ma la'arash shekem etayim shlo b'negiyo, Torah Mizroim shemetayim ela b'negiyo. A nevelo is metame b'masra, even though he didn't touch it. Just carrying it makes tumah. A tanner is metame in the airspace. Masha'ike by Zroim, you have to touch it directly. So you can't learn from there. Okay, let's continue on. Let us one of it tanner, but they so don't write by oven. One second. Nevelo is a food, it's meat. Sroim is food. So you can't learn from Tanu, which is a kli. To Tanu. So maybe we should do for Nevelo. And Nevelo will learn from an oven and from Zroim. Says the Gemara argues, says, Ein Echanami. Some takes it out. Eliyad and Nevelo Lama. So the more concludes that, Nevelo is unnecessary. That's why it says Yad ben Nevelo. Yad ben Nevelo, today in Yad la'adam is the extra Yad. Yad la'achri is Yad l'ortz. So one Yad is for tumo. First Yad just tells you there's a Yad. And you want to say the least amount, it means loitzi. But now I have extra Yad to say also la'achris. Shoymer l'tzaref, because now I have extra pasuk for Shoymer to tell me it's arif. That's what we are. Now we have all the psukim. So maybe not. I do need a yad levela. Why do you cost of one of nevela? Avamino doyo levomina di los kanidun. If nevela is learning from oven and from Zroim, it will now be more chomer than oven and Zroim. Ma'anech lemitame odam of nevela lemitame odam. If you're learning from a tanur and you're learning from a zera, it's not going to be a time odam. So I need to say a pasuk by nevela. Says well yad nevela mitzvah tzarich. You're right. I do need the veil. So I really need the yard for all three. Shomer den Avela who do Lord Tzorich. I don't need to tell me about Shomer den Avela. Why? Lema Yichaso, right? Says the Gemara, so because it says, if you remember what is Shomer den Avela, we learned before, when we beginning of the Amud, we said that the Or, Sheeshlav Kazais Basar, how do you learn that it's Thomas? We said the word, it says Yitmo. The word Yitmo tells you that not only the meat becomes Thomas, but also if you have the skin touching the meat, it will become Thomas. Right? So when it says, why does the Torah tell me a pasuk by Shomer of an Avelo? Ilitz Tarufe. If you want to tell me because it joins together to be one. Omat Loivitzar. Remember, that's how we ended yesterday's daf. That only Tumas Oichlin, the Shomer, joins together to be the size of Tumah. But Tumas Nevelois, we learned that it does not join together to be part of the Nevelos. And we saw before that the word, it says B'niv Losa, not the and not Be'or. The Or does not join the size. So we have a special pasuk that it doesn't join. So why? So what is the Shomer of Nevelo unique? Mitzvah is not Mitzvah. So it's not less than a yad. The Yechezkel again. Kas one. Ilitz Sarufia. 1 second. What? Yitwo. Yitwo. Look at the top.
But that was the yad.
No. Show me. Look more on top. Top of the first few lines. Yeah, the first lines of this Amud. Yeah. So it says the Gemara, "L'maychus kazach mon iltzu v'el amad l'mitzayf." Ulo itzi kavucher miyadas. Elamai tell me it's going to tell you just that tumor goes out through it. That we learned from yet. Eino inu l'shem din avelo. Teu inyon liyad din avelo. Zav Hashem din avelo. What's the yad din avelo? But I have already yad din avelo. Eino inyon liyad din avelo. Teu inyon liyad almo. So here's my extra yad. The shomer of the avelo is my extra yad. Yad leoitz, yad leoichnis, shomer litzayif. I'm trying to find three psukim. Yad, yad, and shomer. So we said, oh, I have three yads. One of them is extra. So no, none of them is extra. Each one of the yads I need. Nevelo, I need a yad. Tanur, I need a yad. And Zer, I need a yad. I can't learn from there. So I'll tell you what's extra. The shomer of Nevelo is extra. Because it's not mitzaref. That we learned before. And for Tuma, I know Kavachimer from a yad. So what do I need a plus for shomer? Elam mitzriyad. Yad Nevelo already know. It's the other yadus to tell you that's loitzu lachnis. Rashi says, why don't I say directly? Because that's the order sequence. If it's not Shem and Avela, option number 2, Yad and Avela. Oh, if I Yad and Avela, then I bring it to something else. Says the one that Kuf Yechezkel with Beis. The aim, sorry. The aim of Eino Shem and Avela. Teinu Inyan l'Shem and Almo. Maybe it's not coming to talk about Shem and Avela. Maybe it's coming to talk about Shomer D'Alma, meaning protect yourself something else. And to tell me what? Shomer L'Achri is Shomer L'Tzaref. Avayad L'Achri is Loi. Right? Maybe it's through that. Hi, it says already Shomer. We learned Shomer. Remember, we learned Shomer by Zera Zerua. Yeah, but maybe let's go tell you. One Shomer tells you that not only takes out Tumah, also brings in Tumah. The other one is telling you that it's not. But by yad, I don't have an extra pasuk telling that's coming in. That's what we're looking for. Where's the extra yad to tell you coming in? Maybe it's only by Shem. Right? So again, to remember the sequence of the kashi. We have 3 yadus already. It says yad by Neveli, it says yad by Tana, it says yad by Zera. But I need all 3. So all I know is yad lohoitzi. The tumah goes out. I don't know tumah coming in. Says the Gemara, tell you, Shomer by Neveli is extra. Let's start from there. You will know. Maybe Shomer Nevela is telling you that Tumah goes in by Shomer. Not Shomer Nevela, other Tumahs. But I don't have a pasuk. Says the Gemara, no. Elami koro kiksiva yad hachnos aktiv. Where does the yad say by Zera? It says the pasuk is I'm thinking about Zera. Yeah, I mean the chinofa kutan mayim al Zera v'nofli nosolav tameyu lachem. What's talking about? A nevela, it says. Maybe it's a shirt. I think it's a shirt. In other words, when it gets tumah from the outside, not when tumah goes outside. When tumah goes in. So you would say, it says yad by zera, maybe it's only outside. No, the pasuk is not talking about a case. There's tumah going from the inside outside. So tumah coming from the outside inside. So you were asking, where do I find yad coming in? That's what the pasuk is talking about. Says the Gemara, Ela Shomer de Nevela Lamali. So why did it say Shomer by Nevela? So now that I know Yad Lachnoso, so I said Shomer Nevela. We just said the Shomer Nevela. I know it already. Says the Gemara Legufi. They tell you they have Shomer Nevela. Says the Gemara V'lai. Go back to the Cheshbon. Here it's the roof of Amad Levinstaff. Says Amad Miyad. So I already know this. Why do I need a pasuk for Shomer of Nevela? Now, until now, we said Shomer de Nevela is going to teach you Yad. But Yad I know for the Mashma is a pasuk. So how do I know? What do I need Shomer de Nevela? Says the Gemara. You're right. I don't need it. I can learn it on my own. But even things that are the Torah still writes. Oh, so if so, why are you telling me that Shomer that says by Zera, it's mitzvah to the size? Because if not, I can learn about the Kavachomer. No, maybe I know you can learn about Kavachomer, but sometimes the Torah writes Kavachomer. Says the Gemara, this is the Yisai. This is really Yisai throughout Shas. Yes, there is a concept that sometimes the Torah writes to you something that I know on my own. And it's even, if I'm not mistaken, the Yechezkel speaks about it, because the Gimel Midas Shater in Yeshus B'Hem have 13 Midas in Yeshus B'Hem. One of them is Kavachimer. Kavachimer is unique. Why is Kavachimer unique? Because that's the only one you can say on your own. Gzir Shav, I can't make it on my own. I can't even come and say, you can't say, it's all the only thing that you can make up on your own is Kavachimer. That's why it says in Yechezkel, the Torah sometimes writes the Kavachimer. Because I don't know, I'm making it up on my own. So the Torah tells you here, your Kavachimer is correct. But that's only if they have no other option what to use it for. Like the case of Sherman and Avela, I don't know what to use it for. But if I have what to use it for, like Bezriah, to tell you that because part of the shear, so I use it for that. Says the Gemara, Rav Chaviva Omar. Rav Chaviva is coming to answer that Sherman and Avela is going to be used for Yad. Hi, why are you not saying it should be used for Shomer only? Says the Gemara, Shani Shomer the Nevelo, come on the Maisi Yad Kavit, Hayat Shadinle. Remember, this is how we end yesterday's daf. Shomer and Nevelo does not mitzaref. Meaning the Shomer by Nevelo is exactly like a Yad. It just brings Tumah, takes out Tumah, but does not join the shear of the Tumah. Different than the Shomer of Zera. So by Nevela, there's no difference between Yad and Shomer. So Shomer is treated like a Yad. So when it's have an extra word by the Shomer and Nevela, it's going to teach you about a Yad, not about a Shomer. Because the Shomer and Nevela is not really a Shomer. That's what Chiva answers. Says well, Matka Rav Yehuda by Yishmael. So Yishmael has the following. And it says in the Mishnah, Hapit Roshal Rimoy Mitzarefes, Ve'nechelo Ein Mitzaref. So by a pomegranate, you have two layers of shomer. You have something called the pitma, you have something called the nates. The pitma is the first layer, and the nates is like the crown, which is the second layer. So the pitma of the rimon joins it to be the same size, but the nates is not. Something more to be in mind, sorry. Kori Kanako Zera Veleko. I mean, how do we know shomer by seeds? Because you plant it. You never plant the crown or the outer layer of a pomegranate. What do you plant when you put a pomegranate? The seeds, not the crown. So if the whole limud that you're saying shomer by zera is you learn it because it says called zera zerua kadesh bnei adam moitzim luzriel, wheat with its cover, bar with the cover. So why is rima included? So the Gemara. Another question. Our Mishnah. How do you know things are not planted? Like skin of an animal. That's not planted. If your source is for planting, how do you learn it? Says the Gemara, there's three psukim. Alkol zera zerua asher yizareah. It says zera zerua asher yizareah. The word zera is written 3 times. You dash 3 drushes from it. Chad l'shomer d'zroim, where you plant, like the wheat, like the barley. Chad l'shomer d'ilanois, meaning things that are join the fruit to garnet. Idach l'shomer basar beitzim v'dagim, shomer of things that are not fruits or seeds, like meat, and that includes the skin. So the Gemara. Yes, we're starting now. Continue this. We'll start the first part of it. The second part, we'll leave it tomorrow. Be'ez Hashem. Yesh yad letuma ve'en yad lehechsher. Yad letuma you have. What is yad letuma? Meaning, you have an extension for tuma. Like we said, there's tuma inside, the yad takes it outside. There's tuma outside, the yad brings it inside. But there's no yad lehechsher. What's yad lehechsher? If the yad gets kosher kabel tuma, because it gets moist, has liquid in it, doesn't make the fruit kosher kabel tuma. That you don't say. Says the Gemara of Rabbi Yehuda, the tuma ulehechsher. The same way you have a handle for the tuma, you have an extension. You also have a handle for the hechsher. What's machlokes? He may say mesvar, he may say makro. He may say makro. Ma'asova mikro nidrosh lefonov, v'lo lifnei fonov. Uma'asova mikro nidrosh lefonov v'lifnei ponov. What does it mean lifnei ponov? It says achi yutam me'ayim al zera And then it says, V'nofel mitumos olive. So the pasuk speaks about hechsher, then about tuma, and then it says yad. So if mikra nidrosh lefanov, meaning you say yad, applies to tuma, but not to what's written before that, which is hechsher. But if the nidrosh lefanov belief repanov, so the yad is mentioned regarding tuma and regarding hechsher, which is written first. Kiyutan ma'im al zer is the hechsher. V'nofel nivlosim olive is the tuma, and then it says yad. If I say Mosvaro, Ma Soba Hechsher Tchilas Tumahu, Ma Soba Hechsher Lav Tchilas Tumahu. Oh, one says, how does something become tumah? Because Mukhshel Kabal Tumah. Once it's kosher Kabal Tumah, then it gets tumah. So Hechsher Kabal Tumah is brings tumah. Hechsher Kabal Tumah brings tumah. Gewaltig. So if so, Hechsher is really stage one of tumah. You know, what does it reminds us? Reminds us, let's say that Malchus is Tchilas Misa. When you hit somebody, it's like, oh, you started to kill him. You give Hechsher, it's not tumah yet, but now it's getting closer to get tumah. That's the machlekes. Same what Tarek ever said that Kishim Sheyesh Yad Tumah Kach Yad Hechsher. The same way there's Yad Tumah, there's Yad Hechsher. Today says we should be the opposite. Yad Hechsher Yad Tumah. Top. Kishim Sheyesh Mikam Tumah Ela Kishitoshu Kach Ein Mikam Hechsher El Ad Shitoshu. The same way tumah is only when something is disconnected from the ground. Why? So Rashi says, sir, says if you want to tell me when something is connected to the ground, it's tameh, you'll never have fruits that are not tameh. Because there's always bugs and dead animals in the field. So all the fruits will come tameh. So while it's connected, there's no tumah. Only when you disconnect it, tumah is chal. The same with tumah is chal, only when it's disconnected. Also, hechsher you can't have until it's disconnected. You can't machshir a fruit to kabal tumah when it's connected to the tree. We said we'll stop over here. The Gemara is going to continue with this theme later. Right now, the Gemara told us to start a new thing after we had the whole structure of yad and shomer and the limudim of yad and shomer, and basically understand the first Mishnah Maseches Uktzin. Now the Gemara says there's a yad word for tumah and hechsher alike. That's the machlekes.
Yeah.